His father, too weak to hold him, but strong enough to scold him, so he turned him away after an array of punches and kicks. I squeaked. His eyes counted the bruising around his eyes and cheeks, and he whispered to me, this is it. Running away to a hideaway in a basement, he stained my brain. His tears engraved in me the stains of names like sissy and faggot. The rationale of being abused and battered just for trying to be himself. No one in his home understood how heavy. No one in his home except the motionless wood understood how heavy, so I acted as a levee, capturing the weight in his soul and the ache in his tears. This was the one time that I considered adjusting so that he wouldn't be tall enough to reach my fears, but just like him, I discovered that I couldn't get any lower, so I raised the volume in my creaks as he stomped above me, hoping that he'd get in these floorboards, begging and pleading, young boy, stay right here with me, young boy. After a while, these weights won't feel so heavy, young boy. Life is a journey, and this is just getting you ready, young boy, young boy, young boy. I screamed over those rage-filled voices in his head, but he couldn't hear. My efforts to keep him close weren't enough this time. He moved to the chair.
By the way he climbed on top of me, I knew what day was. See, Thursdays he had to check the fire alarm or change the light bulb, and he would never take off his shoes for these endeavors, so when I felt the cotton against my stitching, I knew he wanted to be comfortable. That someone would have to pick me up today, Monday again. And you don't know how many times I've been pulled out from the floor. See, I hate that I was never nailed to the floor. You don't know how many times I've been pulled out and pushed into unfamiliar places in the woods to later be knocked over with his soles dangling over me. Don't ask me why my forelegs couldn't hold his too. I cracked under pressure. Depressed boys weigh more than heavier boys. Way more than my brother and sister who I used to carry before we got here, and what you don't know is he used to fight me. Kick me until I was as low as he was, and I meant all the times we put pressure in the woods together. That dent was from the weight of his knees from when he tried to pay the getaway. That scrape mark was when he tried to use me to get back up and my unwillingness to let him. So when next time you see me moved away from the table, know that I was displaced. That I didn't have enough time to look up and see what he was doing to the ceiling. That I was just as lost as he was.
Not all black gay boys make it to manhood. Some are forced to morph into something more like a magician, never learning how to make their pain disappear, but they master the art of levitation. He never held his head this high before, though he tried before. A right denied to reside in his past.